I have this clear glass jar and it has a rose gold lid that screws on and off. I got this from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to take my E6000, which is a clear industrial strength glue, and a little bit of hot glue, and I'm going to add a thin piece of jute down the design of the glass jar. Now the hot glue will just hold the jute in place until the E6000 dries, as the hot glue doesn't always hold very well on glass, but once the E6000 dries, that will do the job. So again, I'm just adding a small amount of hot glue, placing my jute starting at the top of the jar and going down the design on the side of the jar with the E6000, and then finishing it off with a little bit of hot glue. And I repeated this throughout the entire jar. So the jar was already designed to almost look like a pumpkin, and by adding the jute, it kind of just gave it a little more dimension. And I'm going to take more of the thin jute and just wrap it around the top so that it covers the ends of all the pieces of jute we just attached. And I just wrapped it a few times around. You don't want to wrap it too much because you want to be able to screw the lid back on. You can even add a little bow to the top of this or do another color ribbon, whatever matches your decor. So this is what we have so far. And I'm just going to set that one aside. I also found it in orange, so I wanted to do a second one with a thicker piece of jute. Now I get this rope right from Dollar Tree as well. And I'm going to repeat the same exact steps as I did in the first jar. I'm just using a thicker jute. Now you can find both the thin and thicker jute right at the Dollar Tree. So far, all of our items have been from Dollar Tree. Now for the top of this one, I'm going to go back to the thinner jute as I want to make sure that we can screw the lid on and off. So I just wrapped that a few times and secured it in place with the hot glue. And then I'm just going to add the lid back to that, and this is what the second one with the thicker rope looks like. Now I'm going to take my hand drill and drill a hole in the center of both of the lids. And you just want to make the hole big enough so that you can stick a piece of rope in there. I have this wire jute that I also found from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to string on some natural wood beads. And then I'm going to just cut the other end of the wire jute and add a little bit of hot glue and move my first bead at the end so that it stays in place with the hot glue. And I ended up taking off a couple, so then I only needed the 3 wood beads. 5 were way too many. And I just stuck the other end of the wire jute into the hole that we made on the top of the lid, and I'm going to just bend it a little bit and glue that down with the hot glue so that it does not fall back through the hole. And then that's the lid of the first jar. And then the second one, I just took more of the wire jute, put a little twirl in it, and just wrapped it around my finger, and then stuck that end through the second lid, and then bent it and glued that down with the hot glue as well. Now this is the second lid, and there we go. Now we just have these very easy Dollar Tree pumpkin jars. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Paint products, tissue paper, transfers, and mesh stencils can be found on our webpage at chalkitupfancy.com. And don't forget, you can also check out other tutorials on our webpage as well. Have a great day.